News, information, interviews, in-depth weather, and more. It's Terry Henne and his Farm Show on 100.5 and 790 News Radio WSGW and online WSGW.com.
A partly sunny good morning to some of you. Others a little bit more on the cloudy side. Matter of fact, it looks a little ominous in some spots, like it could snow. And maybe, just maybe, it possibly could on your back porch as we go through the afternoon hours. But right now we're looking at fairly uneventful skies. We currently have 39 degrees at the airport. It is 40 at Radio Center. Downtown Midland is at 40. Downtown Bay City, a little cooler. Currently at 38. We have a west breeze at 15. Wind chill 31. Yeah, it feels like it. 30.01 and rising is the barometric pressure. The reason why it's going up, pure and simple, we have a high pressure system just to the north of us, and that high is pushing some a little bit cooler air at us. It looks as though that high is going to combine with another high pressure system as we go through the week. And eventually what it's going to do is warm us up. By midweek. We'll be approaching once again 60 degrees on Wednesday. There will be a chance of some rain Wednesday, especially during the afternoon hours on Wednesday and Wednesday night. Then on Thursday, the precipitation pattern is going to move away. And it looks right now as though it's going to be pretty quiet until maybe the second half of the weekend, very possibly later in the day on Sunday and Sunday night. All the way through this period now, we're not going to see temperatures dramatically above average. Matter of fact, they're going to be at average, maybe just a tad below. And our nighttime temperatures are going to be hovering right around 30 degrees, 31, which is average for this time of the year. 46, incidentally, is what's normal for this time of the year. We're going to be below average today and for the most part tomorrow. But tomorrow night, we're going to begin to warm up. Our high temperature today, we're projecting to be right around 40 degrees. So we're just about as warm as we're going to get. Partly cloudy skies tonight. And because of that, the temperatures are really going to drop down. 26 for a low tonight, 44 for a high tomorrow. So a little bit warmer. But then the big change is tomorrow night. 42 is going to be our low tomorrow night, which signifies this high pressure system moving a little bit further to the east, and it's going to try to draft some warmer air up at us, because after a low of 42 on Tuesday night, our high on Wednesday will be 59 with a low of 38. And as we said, that chance precipitation, especially later in the day on Wednesday and Wednesday night. Then on Thursday, mostly cloudy skies, 42 for a high, 28 for a low. Friday, sunshine, 42 for a high, 28 for a low. Saturday, a few more clouds around, and there will be a chance of some precipitation on Saturday night. 42 for a high, 35 for a low on Saturday night. Then on Sunday, middle 40s. And again, that chance of some precipitation. Over the last hour or so, we're seeing traces of snow in southern Wisconsin. In northern and central portions of Illinois, we're seeing a little bit heavier band of snow this hour right now in central Indiana. And all that activity is not moving in our direction. It's kind of swirling around counterclockwise-wise, so we're really not seeing any of that moving toward us. High pressure is over Tennessee and another north of Lake Superior. That's what's influencing our weather. Normal high and low, we indicated those. The record high in this state is 68, and that was set back in 1990. The record low 7, that was set in 1933. A year ago, we had 2/3 of an inch of rain. 53 was our high, 37 was our low. And incidentally, we had a major system cut through the lower peninsula a year ago today. The opening day of deer hunting saw wind gusts of 56 miles per hour out of the west. So no tree stands being occupied a year ago today. It was really, really windy. Long range outlook to take us through the 28th of the month is temperatures averaging out just at average or maybe a little bit below normal. Precipitation pattern fairly normal. We're going to see a little bit of a jump in the precip pattern once we move into the tail end of the weekend and the first few days before Thanksgiving. So kind of keep that in mind. More on the weather as we go through the broadcast. Cody Harris is standing by. We'll take a look at the markets and see what we can project is going to happen, at least for the rest of today. And after that, who knows? But first, we want to remind you the weather forecast brought to you by the folks at Nutrien Ag Solutions.
Nutrien Ag Solutions has the local expertise to recommend the corn, soybean, and other seed products that are the best fit for your field. Plus, unparalleled agronomic support with products and services to unlock yield potential and improve crop performance from planting to harvest. Ask about our financing options to help you get more from every acre and lead the field. Visit your local Nutrien Ag Solutions branch or go to nutrienagsolutions.com.
They say there's a secret to growing a great crop. At Nutrien Ag Solutions, they beg to differ. It all starts with a strong foundation, and when it comes to fertilizer, there's no question that Titan XE drives dry fertilizer performance. They've been unlocking the potential in every prill of dry fertilizer with biocatalyst technology for over a decade. Visit lpi.ag/Titan or contact your Nutrien Ag Solutions crop consultant to drive your crop's potential today. Farm Service brought to you in part by the folks at the Michigan Corn Growers. Registration is now open for the 8th Annual Great Lakes Crop Summit. It's going to be held at Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort in Mount Pleasant. We're looking at January 26th and 27th. We got a little ways to go before the deadline, but it might be a really good idea while you're thinking of it to get it taken care of. Again, you can reserve the hotel rooms for the early registration pricing, and of course, register for the event itself. Again, Soaring Eagle Casino and Resort is the place, January 26th and 27th, the 8th Annual Great Lakes Crop Summit. We say good morning to Cody Harris. Cody, what's going on?
Well, good morning, Terry. We got a little bit of a mixed bag here this morning. And a couple got wheat and soybeans moving higher, and corn's kind of hanging around unchanged, maybe down a little bit here this morning as we start the week. Looking at everything right now, we got cash wheat, that's up 4, 786 on the white, 751 on the red. New crop next year wheat, that's unchanged, 813 on the white, 753 on the red. Looking over at cash corn, that's down 1 at 526. New crop corn is also down 1 at 526. And looking over at soybeans, cash soybeans are up 10 at 1187, and new crop soybeans are up 10 at 1187.
Nice to see that dime move in the soybeans.
Oh, yes, it's definitely good to see that here this morning. Definitely a driver here, and kind of diving into maybe what's driving the soybean market. We got soybean meal and oil kind of driving higher today, and I think you're getting the soybean market to kind of follow that along as well. In addition to that, we're getting the NOPA October crush report that's coming out here later this afternoon. Everyone's kind of expecting that they're going to put out some numbers around 181.9 million bushels crushed, and that would be the third largest crush on record. So you might get a little bit of strength there. And then I guess the asterisk or question mark, or however you want to look at it, that may be driving soybeans here this morning is that meeting that we spoke about last Friday between President Biden and Xi Jinping of China. Kind of diving into a little bit, I think they're going to discuss maybe that soon to expire phase 1 trade deal. So that's kind of what the market's really focused on across the board, Terry.
All right, Cody, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
Thank you. You as well.
You bet. A little bit more as far as what's going on. Doug Klein from Oppenheimer joining me right now. The market report brought to you by Schaefer and Beerline. You're looking for a new Ram commercial truck or van? We'll get it from a dealer that's been around since 1852. Schaefer and Beerline knows trucks and vans you can buy with confidence where family and service sells cars. They are the Great Lakes Bay Area certified ag dealer. That is Schaefer and Beerline. Doug Klein, happy Monday.
Happy Monday to you, man.
What's going on?
I got something for you to think about. All this talk about self-driving cars, trucks, and things like that. I had a conversation with somebody who's in the know, and he's told me that the amount of data required to drive a car, driverless drive a car, would wipe out your phone in 7 seconds, your 240 gig laptop in less than a minute. That's how much data is required to move a car down the highway.
Oh, that makes it real easy to make a decision.
Yeah, right.
Forget
Especially
that for a while.
Yeah, right.
We're going to need more than 10 trillion to figure that out. So I get at least $1.59 so I can spend it on a new phone.
Exactly right. About 75 new phones.
Yeah, there you go.
Oh, so anyway, so that's kind of mind-boggling. So that might be the bottleneck in the electric car movement, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, sometime in the next 15 years. Here's your numbers. The December corn is $5.75 down 2 cents. March corn is $5.83 down 1 3/4 cents. Just January soybeans $12.52 up 8 cents. The March soybeans $12.63 3/4 up 7 1/2. December wheat is $8.20 up 3 1/4, and the March wheat is $8.30 3/4 up 2 1/4. Crude oil was down almost $1 this morning, but setting down 73 cents right now at 78.96. The heating oil is $238.43. That's down 2 cents. Gasoline is $231.40. That's up 0.2 of a penny. Natural gas is $5. That's up 12 cents. Canadian dollar, U.S. dollar gets you $1.25.17 at the border. That's down 25 ticks. The yen is at 113.94, up 9 ticks. The euro is at 114.20, down 30 ticks. And the dollar's at 95.18. That's up 6 ticks. Gold's at $18.65.70, down $2.80. Silver's at $25.11, down 23 cents. And platinum's at $11.0150. That's up $12.30.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Can you?
Mm-hmm.
I just can't believe all the thought that hasn't gone into this decision.
Yeah. Think about the nuclear power plants that they're going to need to generate electricity again.
Yeah, that's going to be a whole new scenario, isn't it?
You're going to need them.
Mm-hmm. Going to need something.
Crazy.
Take a lot of windmills.
Yeah, right.
Doug, you take care. Have a good one. All right.
You too.
Doug Klein over at Oppenheimer. Farm Service brought to you today by the folks at Kryzak's House Family Restaurant. If you need to supply the food for an upcoming event, and I know a lot of you would really like to have a lot less work in the kitchen, 989-894-5531. They'll get the food ready for you. All you got to do is order it. Stop by, pick it up on the day that you're going to have your get-together, and you will be a hero at your event. Kryzak's House Family Restaurant. Great place to dine in as well. Corner of Cass and Michigan on Bay City's south side. Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. What should we be looking at right now?
Jerry, we're definitely looking at some cold freezing temperatures tonight. So I would really suggest that you make sure that your garden hoses, if they're not put away, are put away, particularly if you're under pressure. That water can freeze right on up into the house, and all of a sudden you've got water leaking in your home. So that's not a good idea. So unhook those garden hoses and, get ready for that cold winter. Here it comes.
Here it comes. Jerry, thanks a lot. Good reminder. Take care.
All right. Mm-hmm.
Jerry Samalski, Bay Landscaping and Garden Center in Essexville. When we return, Eric Sawatsky. We're talking that infrastructure thing. He's got some points. There's been some changes in this bill. They're trying to get it pushed through. Eric joins us right after this.
Hi, Deb. Another weekend, more youth baseball. Where's Jerry?
He wanted to come, but he's busy battling brown beet fields.
Cercospora?
Yeah, he went out to spray again. Is your crew spraying?
Just a few times. It's a sea of green this year.
You're kidding.
No, we tried that new CR Plus trait developed by KWS, and it's like night and day.
Really? Wow. You should text Jerry. He needs a new plan.
Maybe I'll just send some pics from the game. He'll get the message. KWS CR Plus trait is licensed to Beta Seed and Crystal Brand Seed.
Experience the most reliable RTK signal from PC Ag Solutions, compatible with most GPS receivers. Trade in your old radio or modem and get an affordable subscription through us. We have over 25 base station locations across the Lower Peninsula, and we're always looking to add more to our network. Discover more power, more accuracy, and more coverage with our 450 megahertz signal. Call us to learn more today. PC Ag Solutions, 989-868-4444. Eric Sawatsky joining me right now with Yo and Yo. Eric, what's going on with this legislation? There's been some changes?
Yeah, the bills that they're still considering for the second portion of President Biden's agenda, it's the problem is how to pay for this bill. And a lot of the things that were proposed before were getting a lot of people excited for good reason. So just in the last week, we've had some major changes. Things that we were concerned about are no longer in the bill. So to highlight a few of those, they were talking about an increase in the corporate tax rate that is no longer there, raising the top individual tax rates, that's no longer in the bill. A lot of talk about the dividend capital gain rates. We were concerned with that as far as, especially for year-end tax planning, as far as people selling off stocks or land or anything that they have large appreciation in, and we're concerned about those rates going up on the capital gain side. That's all gone. All the talk about the increase in the estate tax exemptions, the decrease in the estate tax exemptions, where we were worried about farms being passed on, that's completely out of the bill. And a couple other minor things that were in the bill have all been pulled out. But now, of course, how do we pay for everything that's in this new bill that they're talking about? Well, it's a shift to a lot of additional surcharges, especially based on income. So we're talking really high levels of income, $10 million, $25 million, extra 8% taxes just on top because you made that much. One of the things that will hit a number of taxpayers, though, if we're looking at trusts, the rates that would affect the $10 million and $25 million rates for individuals, on a trust, it's only $200,000 or $500,000. So a lot of planning will probably have to take place around trusts versus having money elsewhere as far as income being generated. So that's a planning point that's going to come up. Another thing they're talking about is the cap on state and local income taxes. That's been capped at $10,000 a year. So your state and local taxes plus your property taxes couldn't be more than $10,000. They want to increase that up to $80,000 going forward. That could really make a lot of people who couldn't itemize before have the opportunity to do so again if they do that. And the very last thing I wanted to highlight they're talking about is the net investment income tax. That's something that came in with the changes with when President Trump's bill passed, about 4 years ago. That was a additional tax that came on for self-employed businesses, essentially. S corporations were able to avoid a good chunk of that because of your net profits are not subject to self-employment tax. They want to change that and make all S corp profits subject to the net investment income tax. So a lot of things to absorb there, but they're finding new and different ways to try and sell this bill. But they took away all the usual suspects of just raising rates and playing with the estate taxes.
Good information. Eric, you take care. Have a great day, okay?
You too, Terry.
Will do. Eric Sawatsky with Yo and Yo.
Are you looking to upgrade your equipment for the 2022 season? If so, now is the best time to lock in the best pricing for model year 2022 New Holland equipment. New Holland's pre-sale programs are going on now at Ellen's Equipment. Plan ahead and let Ellen's Equipment help you lock in the savings on next season's tractors, combines, sprayers, balers, and forage harvesters. Call or stop by Ellen's Equipment in McBain, Ithaca, or Beale City today to take advantage of the lowest pricing of the year on your New Holland equipment for 2022.
Wow, good looking beets as usual. How are you, Dave?
Happy to put another harvest in the books. This is my last load.
I am serious. Those look great. Got any trade secrets?
Well, the weather held. And of course, I always plant beta seed.
Seriously, that's it?
That's it. We've always gotten vigorous plants and great results. My ISA says they breed the best traits right into the seed.
Well, how exactly do they do that?
No idea. I'm just glad they do.
Beta Seed, breeding confidence.
Along with me, Chuck Cervinsky, Maple Hill Nursery over in Midland. Chuck, what should we be looking at right now?
Right now, we want to concentrate on protecting those new trees and shrubs we might have planted this summer. The first thing, we're going to want to make sure that we give them a good watering before the ground freezes. Moist soils are going to hold more heat than dry soils, and when it's wet, it's going to be less subject to frost penetration. We're going to want to make sure also that we protect those from any winter sun and wind. That can sometimes cause the foliage of some of our evergreens to lose moisture that's not replaced while the roots are frozen. Alberta spruce, arborvitae, boxwood, and some of our rhododendron can be affected by this. Sides of the plants exposed to wind or sides that are most exposed to the sun, you're going to want to put a layer of burlap over those in late November or December to create a windscreen to help protect them. And then the last thing is trees, such as fruit trees. Anything that's thin-barked, sun scald can occur on those on cold, sunny winter days. And what happens is bark on those trees will heat up during the day to the point that growth activity actually starts to resume. And then the temperature of the bark drops rapidly when the sun goes down at night. And what happens is when a quick drop in temperature like that happens, it can kill the active tissue. So to prevent damage to those young trees, wrap them with a tree wrap or use a plastic tree guard. Those will reflect the sun and keep the bark at a more constant temperature, resulting in less damage to the tree.
Fantastic. Chuck Cervinsky, thank you.
You too.
Peanut butter and jelly, cookies and milk. Some things work best in pairs, like Enlist E3 soybeans from Golden Harvest. Our exclusive varieties have strong agronomics and disease tolerance for your conditions. Get yours from Golden Harvest today for a pairing that performs. This is how we listen. Copyright 2021 Syngenta. The trademarks or service marks displayed or otherwise used herein are the property of a Syngenta Group company. Enlist E3 soybean technology is jointly developed with Dow AgroSciences LLC and MS Technologies LLC. Enlist E3 is a trademark of Dow AgroSciences LLC. All other trademarks are the property of their respective owners.
Back at 12:30 with an update.
From the Stone Specialist Studios, this is WSGW, Saginaw, Bay City, Midland, WSGW-FM, Carlton.
Year-old charged in the shooting deaths of 2 people.
Count 6 is no longer part of your consideration. That was the firearm charge. So that will not be something that you will need to address. You'll need to address only the first 5 counts.
The Wisconsin judge has been giving legal instructions to the jury ahead of closing arguments. In Washington, former Trump aide Steve Bannon has surrendered and will appear in court later on contempt of Congress charges. CBS News legal analyst Rebecca Royfee.
First, he's read the charges against him, and then he decides how he's going to plead. We all expect that he'll plead not guilty to these charges, and then bail or release is determined.
Overseas, Britain has raised its terror threat level after an incident in Liverpool near a hospital. An explosive device went off in a taxi. Prime Minister Boris Johnson says the driver made it to safety. The apparent bomb maker died.
It does look as though the taxi driver in question did behave with incredible presence of mind and bravery.
4 other people have been arrested in the case. Just days after a brutal sentence, a reprieve for an American journalist, that is, in Myanmar.
Danny Fenster spent nearly 6 months in jail and was facing 11 years hard labor, one of more than 100 media workers detained since the military ousted the elected government of Aung San Suu Kyi. Former U.S. diplomat Bill Richardson helped negotiate Fenster's release. The two immediately flew out of Myanmar. Fenster's family overjoyed. Vicky Barker, CBS News, London.
Austria has imposed a lockdown for unvaccinated people who haven't recently had COVID as case numbers rise in that country. This man in Vienna says,
I think that it's a good idea. Most people that want to vaccinate should be free and enjoy life. If someone don't want to vaccinate, you should take responsibility for it and stay home.
81-year-old Vermont Senator Patrick Leahy says he won't seek re-election next year. But Beto O'Rourke vows in a video statement to be on the ballot in Texas.
I'm running for governor, and I want to tell you why. This past February, when the electricity grid failed and millions of our fellow Texans were without power, they were abandoned by those who were elected to serve and look out for them.
Meet Ji Young, the first Asian American Muppet.
My number one favoriteest thing to do is play the electric guitar because I love rock music. And I just started skateboarding. I'm not that good at it yet.
She makes her Sesame Street debut on Thanksgiving. Wall Street, right now the Dow is up 8 points. This is CBS News.
This hour's newscast is presented by Rocket Mortgage. When you need cash out of your home and a simple way to get it, Rocket can. Live from the 100.5 and 790 newsroom, this is WSGW News.
39 degrees at 12:03. Good afternoon. I'm Ann Williams. 2 people have died in separate incidents in the same Mount Pleasant house, only days apart. Police say on November 6th, 41-year-old Justin Gay died of a suspected drug overdose in a residence on Oak Street. Then last Monday, 63-year-old John Smith also died of a suspected overdose at the same location. He was found by the home's landlord, according to police. Police say Smith was operating the location as a drug house, calling it a hub of activity for much of the summer until a police sting in September. The search is on for 2 children who may be in Michigan after being kidnapped in other states. Here's more from Beth Fisher at the Michigan News Network.
Michigan State Police in Gaylord have been asked to help police in Tennessee and Kentucky find 2 kidnapped victims, 16-year-old Amber Claire and 3-year-old Noah Claire. Police say they were abducted by a family member, 35-year-old Jacob Claire of Beaver Dam, Kentucky, and may be en route or in northern Michigan near Harbor Springs. Claire is believed to be driving a silver Subaru Outback with Tennessee license plates. Anyone who sees them should call police. Beth Fisher, Michigan News Network.
The victims of a deadly plane crash on Michigan's Beaver Island include a real estate agent and a couple who were planning to open a winery and vineyard there. The plane crashed Saturday afternoon west of Mackinac City, killing 4 of 5 people on board. Lieutenant William Church of the Charlevoix County Sheriff's Office has identified 3 of the deceased as Kate Lease and Adam Kendall of Beaver Island and Mike Perdue, a Gaylord real estate agent. He says Perdue's 11-year-old daughter was injured in the crash. Lease and Kendall had moved to Beaver Island to open a winery. Authorities haven't identified the pilot, who was also killed. Federal health officials are visiting the University of Michigan to learn more about hundreds of flu cases diagnosed by the campus health service. There have been more than 500 cases diagnosed since October 6th, with 77% of those afflicted not